The Rockets had an incredible season. It comes to an end last night, as so many great seasons have, up against Steph Curry and the Warriors.
The season ended in silence. Not the silence of surrender, but the kind that lingers when belief falls just short.
Last summer, you guys made basically no major changes to the roster, and the team still got better. This summer, what do you see as the path to improvement? Continuity or changes?
That continuity is good, no doubt. But you've seen teams make a lot of moves, and they feel like they need to get over the hump, and Doncic is added or Butler is added, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we always felt comfortable about what we had here and that we take this step this year.
You like a small or a medium or a large?
The question hung in the air like Gulf Coast humidity. Continuity or change? The answer came slowly, in glimpses.
You know, the goal ultimately is to build a championship team, and if we think that there's a move or a series of moves that make it more likely we will be that, then we would ignore continuity and we'd do those moves.
Actually, this lucky. That's today's special.
Oh, you got the special.
Hit the card button and then bang.
It's everybody's goal to be better and come back better, and that was the main message that we went away with, is the things we've done that got us to this point, but we all have to come back better, and this is a huge offseason for everybody.
The front office kept quiet. The media did not.
Reed Shepherd, who was a top 3 pick in this last year's draft, didn't have a role in this team. He would have incredible value in trade. Jabari Smith Jr. is a very good young big man. He would have a lot of value in trade. To be honest with you, almost nobody could match what the Rockets have to trade and the quality of the team that they have. That combination is why potentially a star player would have interest in them. Tax-free state, good weather. There's a lot to like about the Rockets.
Every name on the roster became a chess piece. The internet ran with it.
So the first one is Kevin Durant. That is obvious. Yeah. If we all know where this Rockets team struggled, it was offensively. They could not buy a bucket at times. KD fixes that. And the good news is that you have a lot of young core pieces like Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Green, that might be attracted to other places, and you have options with your picks moving forward. Now, the other one that I'm manifesting, if there's a shot at Giannis, I feel like that would be a good fit as well. I mean, obviously, it's Giannis. He's a walking 30-12 on 60% shooting.
I'm having so much fun this summer. It's going to be the greatest offseason of all time. Yeah.
Giannis plus Ime Udoka and the way they play is a scary future for a franchise.
It's probably already come across, but this team as a whole, like the group of guys to come in every day and work with is just great. It's just great. And yeah, I thought both Tari and Jabari in particular had really hard years with injuries and just growing pains of various sorts, and they both handled it so well. Yeah, I'm very appreciative of them and their effort, and very excited about where, the direction I think they're both headed.
If you give up a Tari Eason, who he's going to be in the NBA. I don't think he's going to be a whole hell of a lot more than that. Could he be a starter on some teams in this league? Sure. But offensively, I have questions. Thinking the game out, making smart decisions, I have questions.
Tari's injuries concern me too.
That too. We don't know what that leg thing is.
Plus, you also, you have to make a decision on him soon about a contract.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockets have a bunch of young players. You're going to have to let some of them go. You're going to have to level up at some point.
You can't get a bucket. You had to run around him.
We're here giving back to the community and talking about mental health. It's the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month. And you know what I'm saying? It's good to go out there and talk to the youth and tell them that it's okay to express their feelings. It's okay to talk about their feelings and be open about it.
You're not getting a bucket. 2, 3, that's too many dribbles. That's too many dribbles. You're not getting a bucket. No. Check up. It's hand off me.
I've seen this quite a bit from other places too, but Spears is speculating that the Celtics and others are going to overhaul their team. Spears is the one who specifically mentioned the Rockets and the Spurs could help them in that overhaul.
They're talking about Porzingis. They're talking about Holiday. They're talking about Brown.
You don't like Brown?
he disappeared. Talk about disappears in big games.
He doesn't have a left hand either.
Yeah, he certainly doesn't. I have buyer beware on anything with Jaylen Brown, especially at $60 million a year.
That's a lot.
Tonight, the U.S. Senate has confirmed Houston Rockets owner and CEO of Landry's, Tillman Fertitta, to be the U.S. ambassador to Italy. He also said if confirmed, he would step down as CEO of Landry's, but maintain his ownership stake in the Rockets.
You have bird rights to potentially bring Steven Adams back. What did you all think of his growth throughout this season, and what's the interest in potentially bringing him back for next year and beyond?
I think Steven was the player and person that we thought we were trading for. He's a really important part of the group, and kind of the continuity I talked about and value earlier. He's an important part of that.
Steven Adams stayed. The front court anchor.
I mean, they got to box him out with two people. And, I hate playing with him in the practices, so I'm sure other teams hate him too. So he give me a lot of space when two buddies got to box him out, and I go over there, and he does the hard job. I do the easy job out there and clean up, So it just impacting a lot for us, and defensively too.
There is traction around trade scenarios for Kevin Durant, and there are some teams that are motivated to get this deal done sooner rather than later. The focus of the Suns conversations as of the last 24 hours has been around the Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves, Miami Heat, and the New York Knicks. And Durant is on an expiring contract for upwards of $50 million.
Ime Udoka, courted by New York, stayed in Houston. Was he motivated by loyalty, unfinished business, or both?
Now, Ime Udoka is one of the best coaches in the NBA. This brother's something special. What about the New York Knicks reaching out to Houston, right? I got a text. You don't have enough. They said you couldn't pay us enough. Ime Udoka ain't going anywhere. You understand? But to me, Wendy, it's about that Jalen Green. Listen, the brother is young and ultra talented. Molly, he seems a bit distracted. If you're Houston, with the changes that are going on, with the Wild Wild West being what it is, with the inordinate amount of teams that are in legitimate positions to compete, you can't afford to stand still. They need a professional. They need somebody like KD. One guy for Ime Udoka to evolve everything around. Give him that one star. That brother can get everything you need out of everybody else. But the face cannot be Jalen Green. He's just not ready yet.
There's a decent amount of lineup data that suggests that this team has performed better without Jalen Green on the court this season. How much do you incorporate that kind of data into your decision-making process moving forward, be it roster construction, coaching decisions, that kind of thing?
That's a really flawed question. I would say that some of our very best lineups include him, and so that piece by itself, I just think that's just not correct.
Shams, what is the latest on Kevin Durant?
The latest on Kevin Durant is the Suns are in active trade conversations with multiple teams, mostly focused on the Houston Rockets, the Miami Heat, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. But as I reported over the weekend, he has a preferred destinations list as well, and that's Miami, San Antonio, and Houston.
Is there anything that you need to be better at? Like when you say you need to be better, what are you referencing? Is there anything in particular?
Just being aggressive. I can't let a team take me out of the game. No matter what the scheme is. I got to continue to go out there, be myself, and I just didn't do that.
Jalen Green, I think it's safe to say he needs to get ready to pack his bags. If you're the Houston Rockets, you have to be looking to move him.
Jalen Green is at that level where he's not comfortable in his skin. He's still trying to find out what type of player he wants to be, right? I don't know if I make a move.
You wouldn't trade Green.
I would trade Green. No, I would. Listen, the reason I won't trade him is because he's so raw. I'm going to give him 1 or 2 more years to see what he can turn into.
Only way you consider moving a guy like Jalen Green is if you have a real chance at going to get a Ja Morant or Kevin Durant or one of these guys that are obvious franchise changers. Other than that, you stay put. You hold your cards where you are. You have a nice young nucleus. Granted, he did struggle in these playoffs, but it was his first introduction. You know, imagine if the Lakers turned their backs on Kobe when he played how he played against the Utah Jazz when he was such a young player.
Then came the explosion. At Fanatics Fest. Mid-interview.
You just got traded! Seems like there is a huge report that has just taken place about KD's destination. I believe that KD has been traded to the Houston Rockets. God damn it!
In exchange for Durant, Phoenix will receive a package that includes Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and the number 10 overall pick in this year's draft and 5 second-round picks.
Jalen Green, the face of the rebuild, the promise of tomorrow, was gone. So was Dillon Brooks. Defensive pest and locker room wildcard. In return, a 14-time All-Star with 2 Finals MVPs, and a resume as complicated as it is historic. Kevin Durant has never belonged to any one team. He's collected jerseys like scalps. Each stop brilliant, each departure bruised. He's forced his way into every situation he's wanted. And this summer, he chose Houston.
Well, did it work for those people?
No, it never does. I mean, these people somehow delude themselves into thinking it might, but it might work for us.
I think this is exactly what they needed, Lance. They needed a guy who could come in and get a bucket at any time that you need a bucket.
Alperen is, he's not really a go-to consistent, we need a bucket, let's just get the ball to Alperen. We know Jalen wasn't that guy. Amen's not there yet. Kevin Durant can get you shots. He can help you in the half court. He can score. I have to wait until we hit April and May and I find out if he's healthy. Because if he's not healthy, none of this matters.
Well,
this is a lost trade.
I gotta get a bucket here. I gotta get a bucket.
Left behind, Jabari Smith Jr. Young, long, and still carving his place. He would regain his place as a starter on a team that's been reshaped again.
In regards to Amen, just being in the gym with him every day, how would you quantify his growth, particularly on the offensive end, and what's possible for him on that end?
Yeah, I mean, he's a extremely hard worker, a grinder like all of our guys are. We never had to complain about that, of guys not putting in the work, and so he views himself as one of the best, if not the best, at what he's trying to be, and there's no real ceiling for him. He's going to continue to ascend like that.
At just 21, Amen Thompson has the body of a wing, the vision of a point guard, and the fire of a player who knows what's at stake. A twin born into competition, forged in battles with his brother in gyms, playgrounds, and driveways.
What would Asar say is his favorite meal?
Salmon, in and out, but I'm gonna say salmon.
What would Amen say is his favorite meal?
He's gonna say chicken.
What's your favorite meal?
It's chicken.
What would Asar say was the worst worst thing he ever did as a kid?
Asar was a pretty chill kid. I don't know, so I didn't do a lot. A nicer kid than Amen.
What was the worst thing you ever did as a kid?
He'd probably say fight. I didn't fight for real, I just wrestled. Amen was an aggressive child. He used to try to hurt me.
I beat him a couple times, you know, and one thing about Amen back then, he wouldn't leave until he like won, but I would never let him win. I was winning and I was tired. I'm trying to go home, and he's like, "Nah, we're not going home." I'm like, "I'm about to go home," and he's, you know, threw the ball at me. You know, I turn around, right. Yo, my ear was ringing.
Come on, man.
So many people at the park. Yeah, you know, I don't remember what happened after that. We probably started fighting. I don't remember, but I remember that for the rest of my life. Nothing hurt that bad, ever. I felt disrespected. I felt nah, it's not cool. You shouldn't even have reminded me, because now I'm gonna do it to him.
What was the last time you beat him one-on-one?
The more recent, a couple months ago. The last one-on-one game, he beat me.
Amen and Ozar, the Thompson twins, grew up in basketball's backrooms. AAU circuits, overtime elite. Now, they've committed to the Jamaican national team.
Ever since I was a kid, you know, I used to watch the Olympics and see Usain Bolt, Blake, and I always was like, you know, Jamaica always represent gold medal, Coach again. And it's always been like a dream. I always wanted to see a basketball team. You know, I always wanted to picture, you know, basketball players with the Jamaican jersey on, and I've always wanted to wear one too. So being able to be here and even it be an option, you know, means a lot to me.
Amen Thompson's going to be an all-star next year. He only started starting, I think, when Jabari Smith Jr. went down with an injury, like 60 games into the year or 50 games into the year. So from there, he just blossomed. A lot of us at the end of last season were like, this dude's the future of the program.
Yeah, wow.
And then to see that kind of come to fruition, we were like, yeah, like this dude's something else.
Bloke.
Unbelievable guy. And again, I do not compliment this guy to his face. I love to hang shit on Amen Thompson, and he knows it too.
In a summer of change, Amen didn't just stay. He surged forward. A blur with purpose. A leader in the making. KD brings the experience. Adams brings the presence. Van Vliet brings the voice. Sengun brings the tempo. But Amen Thompson, he might just bring the future. This is what rebirth looks like. Messy, emotional, necessary. Houston didn't run it back. They rewrote the script.
So last summer, the Rockets made it a very interesting trade, a trade we'd never seen before. They traded some of the picks that they owned from the Nets back to Brooklyn, and they got picks of the Suns. And as soon as that happened, people said, I think they're trying to get Kevin Durant. And all year long, the Rockets said, not really. We're not, you know, we love Kevin Durant, but he's in his mid-30s. We got this team in the 20s. We're not really going for him. I believed Rafael Stone when he said this. By the way, he said this publicly because I believed that he wanted to have his young team grow. Mm-hmm. But something happened in the last few weeks. Ime Udoka, who had him in Brooklyn, Rael Ivy's on the staff. He was his teammate at Texas. He wanted him. He went to ownership and said, and front office and said, can we get Kevin Durant and get him? Great. The other thing was they couldn't say no to the price. The price was just so low, they just couldn't say no. And so the price came down, the Rockets moved in. That's how you elevate yourself as a team. You buy low, and you have a great opportunity.
In the summer of 2025, Texas basketball wasn't just alive. It was loaded. And Houston stood at the center of it all.
And you're hopefully getting a positive, happy embrace from Rockets fans. Can you tell us about how your new team is showing their fandom for you?
Yeah, they're happy now, man. We'll see how it goes. You know, when we start playing, you know how that is.
It was also a big summer in cinemas as Scarlett Johansson, one of KD's favorite actresses, starred in the latest Jurassic World film.
He's not a ball stopper. He's the kind of guy that gets passes and shoots jumpers off, passes off of picks. I think he'll fit in beautifully.
Big for the Rockets. Big. They finally got a player that they can go-to man the last 4 minutes.
The Kevin Durant trade had shaken the NBA and electrified Houston. But one blockbuster does not build a contender. Not in this state. Not in this conference. The front office weren't about to rest on their laurels.
Have you seen Clutch?
Yeah, he was setting up.
Okay, he was still setting up?
There he is right there.
My boy, what's up, dude? You got done setting up?
The fanbase were anticipating more moves after a series of re-signings and restructuring of contracts had left the Rockets with plenty of cap space below the first apron. All eyes were on the mid-level exception.
And we got some more breaking news as free agency underway this hour in the NBA. Shams Charania, our insider, reporting that forward Dorian Finney-Smith is leaving the Lakers for the Rockets.
Enter Dorian Finney-Smith, a hard-nosed, two-way vet who could plug the Dylan Brooks-shaped hole.
Look for a 3, 2 seconds on the clock, and we giving it to no
Why are you pointing at
disrespect.
me?
Dorian Finney-Smith with 2 seconds on the clock to make a 3. That's not what we or Royce O'Neal.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, they can hit it for sure, but
But a
that's
style
not
daily,
sustainable offense.
Clint Capella would be the next addition. Not a signing, but a resurrection. Houston's prodigal center was back. With Capella's return, the Rockets had finished assembling one of the NBA's most intriguing front courts, a trio of centers whose roots stretch from Auckland to Garrison to Geneva. They were different in style, different in spirit. Steven Adams, perhaps the most famous basketball player New Zealand has ever produced, had never suited up for the tall black senior team. The reasons were layered. Early tensions with the National Federation, concerns about injury risk, and a clear desire to prioritize NBA longevity. Switzerland's lone true NBA success story, Clint Capella last played for his country in 2019. He appeared in just a dozen international contests, his commitment sporadic at best.
Do you sometimes feel like not respected enough by the Swiss media?
It's okay. I'm the number one Swiss. I'm the most paid, so the truth is here. Nothing else to say. Everybody knows how much I get paid. So if they just think that I'm not the best, so what? I just think that they don't respect me in this country, and there's nothing else I can do. But it's okay though.
And then there was Alperen Sengun, 22 years old, already a hero in Turkey. He hadn't just embraced his national team duties, he'd embodied them.
Alperen Sengun just gets better and better.
This summer, as Eurobasket 2025 approaches, he stands to lead a new generation of Turkish basketball talent onto the continental stage. Houston's front court didn't just bring size, it brought stories. And in a league obsessed with versatility and switchability, the Rockets may have found something just as valuable: identity. In a quiet but telling move, the Houston Rockets traded second-year forward Cam Whitmore to the Washington Wizards in exchange for 2 future second-round picks.
Here comes Cam Whitmore, and this is where he's dangerous. Cam Whitmore! Oh, baby!
Whitmore had arrived in Houston with high expectations after sliding in the 2023 draft, a bruising wing with elite athleticism and a point to prove.
Rockets fans, Cam Whitmore here, excited to be there, excited to get ready for Houston, and let's get ready for Summer League and the season. I'm out.
But despite earning Summer League MVP honors, his regular season was another story. Ime Udoka's system didn't have patience for unpolished tools. Defense mattered. Spacing mattered. And Whitmore's decision-making and consistency often lagged behind his physical gifts.
Welcome to your nation's capital. Another packed night here at Capital One Arena.
Now, he joins a rebuilding Washington team where the lights are dimmer and the leash longer. It's a second chance for a young player with first-round talent, but the Rockets are no longer waiting on it to bloom.
There we go, and it's on the run pretty fast. Look at that. I mean, so this is northbound on 45, Springwoods, and I'm just going to try to see if I can bring up my speedometer to see how fast he's going. I'm just kind of amazed or surprised how fast.
North of I-45, the Dallas Mavericks shocked the world. Months earlier, they traded Luka Doncic. Madness. Genius. Both. Kyrie was injured. Anthony Davis was unsure. But in June, they won the lottery.
The fourth pick in the NBA draft goes to the Charlotte Hornets. Picking third will be the Philadelphia 76ers. The second pick will be made by the San Antonio Spurs, and that means that the number one pick in the 2025 NBA draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
It was a successful night for the Rockets' in-state rivals. Cooper Flagg arrived not just as a savior, but as a statement. A clean slate for a franchise on the brink. The last time Dallas bet big on a blonde phenom, he became Dirk.
Before the game, I had spaghetti on my own, but it tasted terrible. But you know, I try to cook sometimes, but it doesn't really work.
Now they're hoping lightning strikes twice.
There's a statue of Dirk outside the arena. Obviously, he was the face of this franchise for a long time. He kind of handed the baton to Luka. The anticipation is he would have been the face for a long time. Plans changed. There's now that anticipation for you. How do you feel about kind of that lineage and the responsibility that comes with those sort of expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming in just trying to learn and trying to get better every single day. And I think if I can do that to the best of my ability, I think expectations and pressures that other people, will put on me and our team, that will kind of work itself out. So, I'm just trying to come in and be the best that I can be and just win at the highest level.
Cooper Flagg is a white guy, maybe the best white American prospect since Larry Bird, right? Let's not act as if we don't live in America and we're not seeing what's happening with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. Cooper Flagg is going to be an instant impact player in the NBA.
I don't want to put the great white hope tag on this guy. Let's let him come into the NBA. Let's let him hoop. I do think the Rockets will be the best of the three teams this season if we're looking very short term. But to me, if you're talking about intrigue for like a 10-year span, it has to be the Spurs. We've never seen a talent like Victor Wembanyama. I think he's still growing. I think he's like 7'6" now with perimeter skills. He might be the best defensive force that we have ever seen, ever. The Spurs are one of the most intriguing teams in the NBA. Forget about the state of Texas.
Howdy, y'all. This is Wemby. We're in San Antonio now.
Further west, a different kind of prodigy stirred. Victor Wembanyama, the NBA's most hyped rookie since LeBron, had limped to a stop in February. But in the shadows, he trained. In China, with monks.
The Spurs might be third on the list here in terms of the standings next season, but to me, they are the most intriguing. That's simply because we've not seen a talent really like Victor Wembanyama. And I'm very curious to see, can the Spurs make a pretty significant leap past the play-in into the playoff mix in the Western Conference, and can Wemby make a leap into being an MVP type of player?
Victor is everywhere. his wingspan, his highlights, his Nike campaign. But let's be honest, there's something about him that grates. We saw it early. The draft lottery grin when Houston lost out.
The 4th pick in the NBA draft goes to the Houston Rockets.
The smug smirk. The arrogance disguised as elegance. You could call it confidence. Or you could call it what it is. Peak French condescension. And let's not forget the little things, like assaulting Britney Spears or throwing a first pitch like a man who's never thrown anything but shade. He's the NBA's latest experiment in stardom. But he's not our star. We've got our men.
Defense? Thank you, thank you.
The Rockets are very interesting to me. Obviously, they made a major move, but they decided to give up a little bit in terms of youth and defense, two things that Kevin Durant does not currently possess.
They need some more depth on the wing. They need some more defense. They need more shooting.
The question, though, to me is, can the Rockets make the leap from really good regular season team, one and done in the playoffs, to a real threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder? I think they're the biggest threat in the Western Conference.
We've been here before. In the 2000s, the Texas Triangle defined the West. Dirk's Mavs. Duncan's Spurs. Yao and T-Mac's Rockets. Clash after clash, conference finals, buzzer beaters, bitter exits. Before that, 1995. Olajuwon versus Robinson. MVP versus MVP snub. And now, Texas is loaded again. Flag, Wembanyama, our men, all under 22, all franchise cornerstones. Never in league history has one state contained this much raw, ascending talent. The Lone Star State is burning brighter than ever. But potential doesn't win titles. The work continues.
Been working out with Jabari a couple times. Somebody I always watched when he was in high school at Auburn. These guys just want to be great, man. You know, you're in the gym all summer, you playing pickup, you go back from pickup to lifting weights, to come back the next morning and do the same thing. You know, it's going to pay off at a certain point. So what I took from them is like the work ethic, you know, and attention to detail. And you got guys like Royale, Ime, and the rest of the coaching staff who's going to hold them to a standard every day. You're going to see growth in them pretty quickly.
From getting Coach Ime, was his name Ime Udoka?
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce it? Yeah. What was that shift like?
Anybody who knows Ime knows that Ime is got some missing screws. Like, he done made the team play hard. Like, everybody know that we gonna play hard, and that's just who he is. You know what I'm saying?
Vegas has the Rockets as 4 favorites. Praise, yes, but pressure too.
The big story so far this summer: Houston next in line after adding Kevin Durant. The top 3 seeds from this season have the 3 shortest odds to win the conference next season.
Alperen Sengun will sharpen his tools in Europe, a leading man for Turkey in this year's Eurobasket. Reed Shepherd, a silky sniper from Kentucky, will headline Houston's Summer League squad. And the rumor mill, spinning loudly. If Giannis wants out, Houston is waiting. 3 cities, 3 visions, 1 Lone Star State. The Rockets have made their move. The Spurs and Mavs aren't far behind. Texas basketball is on the brink of something bigger than rivalry. It's on the verge of a renaissance. But make no mistake, Houston plans to win this war. Las Vegas in July. A city built on delusion and dehydration. The perfect setting for Summer League, where GMs lose sleep, scouts lose jobs, and rookies try not to lose the ball.
Questions? Stop. I see you. What's up, Doc? You good? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, man. I just over there. Good to see you. Yeah, you know that. No, I'll catch you around. All right. By the way, that's one of the dogs of the league. I don't know. He about to be running this league for a while, so I don't even say y'all good.
The NBA's off-brand Chaos Carnival had begun, and the Rockets. Reed Sheppard was the marquee name. Houston's new lottery ticket.
The NBA 2K26 Summer League here on the campus of UNLV. We have two teams from the Western Conference with championship aspirations. But what does that mean for the young, talented players on the Clippers and the Rockets? And as promised, we're joined by Rockets General Manager Rafael Stone. And look, my friend, I guess it's, I would say, how's your summer going? Is how we would start this. And the guy that we're seeing on the floor tonight in Reed Sheppard looked incredible in Summer League last year, but an up and down rookie season for him. In his 3 starts, 20 points per game. And we know that, you know, he's mentioned in some trade rumors. For you, what do you like for Reed Sheppard? What do you see for his future with the organization?
I think he's going to have to be really good for us. We've penciled him into a big role, and everything we've seen kind of in practice and everything else is he's going to be ready for it. But you know, practices aren't games, and he's going to have to transfer it. And, you know, he's really working on his physicality, which I love. You know, the great thing about Summer League is you just get games. It's kind of hard to find NBA quality games, and they're not actually NBA quality games, but it's the closest thing you can kind of find. So he'll get a few games in, which is great, and then, you know, kind of it'll be a little bit of a barometer where he's at. And I do think he's absurdly talented. His name was being bandied about this summer, not because of us, but because other teams wanted him.
Right.
We were not very interested. We definitely want to play this out and give Reed a chance to develop.
Sheppard at the charity stripe for the second time tonight. And Smitty, he's been off. 1 for 3 from the charity stripe, 1 for 4 from the field.
Especially from the free throw line, and one was long, one was short.
He opened Summer League like a deer in footlights, shaky, indecisive, overwhelmed.
Sheppard pulling from outside. Way short.
But then something clicked.
Appreciate you, man. Sheppard to the left, it's spinning. Buckets. Rockets' first lead of the game, 42-40. Sheppard's up to 15 now. He's got 8 in the quarter. Reed Sheppard gets 3 big ones there for the Rockets. 1 minute to go here in the third quarter. They're down by 9. Sheppard over Sanders from way outside. Cashing, splashing about that action. He's got 25. Line it up. Sheppard looking to keep that momentum going. The defense all the way out to half court now after that last make. Bulakitis in no man's land. You see the help defenders ready to come. Sheppard between the fire. Connect! He's on fire!
3 straight threes. An exorcism. The Kentucky kid had found his jumper and his voice.
I love the physicality.
Okay. Think too much?
But when I shoot, man,
I got you.
I have to be able to shoot the basketball.
Yeah, 100%.
And dribble.
Yeah, got you.
I wouldn't leave me open. I wouldn't do that one.
Reed Sheppard wearing the wire for us today. He talks like a vet out there.
Nate Williams, meanwhile, was playing himself out of a job.
Williams. Stolen away by Simpson. Williams diving to get it back.
Air balls, tunnel vision, lazy closeouts. The front office took one look and reached for the scissors. Waved before the chips even cooled.
Rockets, they signed 6'7" Mississippi State forward Cam Matthews. My main issue is here's yet another guy who can't shoot. And I mean, when I say he can't shoot, in 5 seasons, 20% from 3 for his career and 55% for his career from the free throw line. Ugh.
Right, defensively, he can get in passing lanes, he can bother offensive players. I think that this is a guy who could legitimately give you like 10 minutes in a regular season game.
Big fella Moses Brown played with Indiana and Dallas last year. You know, saw 13 games of NBA action. You just can't teach this type of size.
And he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that.
These are the shadow men. The training camp maybes. The Exhibit 10 dreamers. Fighting for the 17th roster spot like it's oxygen.
What do you like about this group that you have?
I like their energy. I like how we competed the last 2 days. Summer League's always tough because you're bringing a lot of different guys together that have never played against or played with each other, and they're trying to figure out each other, and we're trying to figure out them. So I like everybody's attitude. Everybody's competing, and it's been a lot of fun these past couple of days.
While the Rockets were busy finalizing the last pieces of their roster, elsewhere in Las Vegas, 2 familiar faces were beginning a new chapter. Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks, once the future and the fire of Houston's rebuild, were spotted courtside at Summer League, now draped in the muted desert tones of the Phoenix Suns.
For sure.
You had a few battles in your day, I'm sure.
In Brooklyn. We had a little scuffle.
They sat with their new teammates, shook hands with staff, and started the quiet process of adjusting to a franchise caught between eras.
No matter who you are.
Probably find someone somewhere.
No matter who you are.
For Green, it's a fresh start in a system that might finally give him the spacing and structure he needs, or it might bury him in the shadow of a fading super team's collapse.
I have a question. How you feel about the trade, and what you think we finna do with the Phoenix Suns?
I love the trade.
Yeah.
You know, it gives me, Jalen an opportunity to showcase, in Phoenix.
Motivation.
Great fans. What you say?
I said motivation.
And for you especially when you play Houston, it's gonna be a lot of motivation for you.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that we both came together.
For Brooks, it's another chance to prove that defense, defiance, and drama still have value in a league obsessed with efficiency. But make no mistake, Phoenix is not one of the contenders in the West. Not anymore. Not with this many question marks and that little time left. The conference is crowded now. Younger, hungrier, deeper. The West is a concrete mixer of contenders. The defending champs, OKC, re-signed their core. The Timberwolves doubled down on grown man basketball. Continuity is the currency. Denver made noise. They dumped Russ, flipped MPJ for Cam Johnson, and quietly got better. Nikola Jokic's window isn't closing. It's expanding. The Lakers added Ayton. Maybe it works. He has never before been paired with playmakers on the level of Luka or LeBron. But no team pushed the drama pedal harder than the Clippers. First, they re-signed Harden. Then added Brook Lopez for stretch 5 sorcery. Then Beal, post-buyout. And then, the kicker, CP3.
Congratulations to Steve Ballmer and the Los Angeles Clippers. They have officially become the nursing home for the NBA for the players that are on the back end of their career.
Shams, why did Chris Paul decide to return here to the Los Angeles Clippers?
Malika, Chris Paul wanted to stay near his family in Los Angeles this upcoming season, and the Clippers needed another reserve guard. They needed someone at the point guard position coming off the bench, so it made it a perfect match, a perfect reunion. And this is a team full of veteran players. It's a deep team.
And, look, there had to be an understanding with James Harden. He and James Harden didn't have the greatest relationship when they were in Houston a few years ago, but Harden is on board with this signing. They went to him with it first. He understands that he played the 5th most minutes in the league last year, and anything the Clippers can do to support and protect him is welcomed, and that's what this move is.
Eric, what did you think was the key to your success tonight? It looked like you were really aggressive. Was that part of your plan for the
Harden and CP3 once ran Houston like jazz musicians with a shared grudge. Until it unraveled, in timeouts, in post-game quotes, in a vibe so toxic the Rockets shipped Paul to OKC for one of Harden's longtime friends.
I know what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do. Just, we'll figure it out this summer.
Has Chris Paul asked to be moved on from the Houston Rockets?
No, he has not. He has not.
Mike D'Antoni is sitting there talking to, John Lucas, and they're all talking. They're finding out about the trade. Probably right now, Jerry Colangelo on his right, the czar of the NBA.
This trade sent shockwaves throughout the NBA and Houston. Russell Westbrook is coming to H-Town. Chris Paul heading to Oklahoma.
What a deal. Well, there he goes, right there, finding out.
Yeah, this is Mike D'Antoni reacting to it, we think, live. And here's the deal, according to Woj.
Daryl Morey. That's always great. My man Daryl Morey had called me like a week before while I was in Vegas. He was like, you don't want to get traded to OKC, right? I was like, nah, not at this point, in my career. He was like, okay, cool, I won't do that because you chose to come to us. Fast forward a week later, I was on the phone with my wife, and then it said Daryl was calling, and then it popped up on Bleacher Report that I'd been traded to OKC.
Now they're back together, older, maybe wiser, maybe not.
Get that second win now. Good, get that second win now. Every possession, we know what we're doing on both ends, every possession.
This team got better. I don't know where they would rank in the Western, in California, because the Lakers did some similar things with their exception money. But I think the Clippers did a good job of building out their depth. And look, if they had given these mid guys in their mid to late 30s 2- and 3-year contracts, I would be a little concerned. They're all one-year deals. They can opt out next year. Their salary cap is flexible. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the Clippers are going to go as far as a healthy Kawhi Leonard takes them. They need to support Kawhi Leonard and support James Harden, and that's what they've done with these signings.
If you're going to face Harden in a playoff series, it helps to have the one guy who haunts him. Josh Okogie, the ultimate beard stopper.
Okogie as a 14th guy on the roster is fine, but my issue with the signing is his lack of shooting or ball creation, which is what this team needed more of. Isn't he just Jason Okogie? I mean, it's a replica of Jason Tatum. I value roster versatility in this era, and Okogie feels redundant to me.
But Okogie is more than Harden's personal hex. He brings relentless energy, backdoor cutting, and a sixth sense for chaos. His arrival turns the Rockets' wing depth from deep to oceanic. So here we are, a roster forged in Ime's image. Long, fast, aggressive. Flexible enough to switch 1-4. Violent enough to win ugly. This is the part where vision meets reality.
Since the last time we talked, you got a new teammate in Kevin Durant. What are your expectations playing with KD?
A lot of stuff I haven't seen before, you know what I mean? He's one of the greatest players ever. One of the best scorers ever. It's gonna make my life a lot easier, you know what I mean? I just hear his work ethic is different. You know, I feel like I have a different work ethic too, so just like combining that, and I think it's gonna be fun. Maybe I'll throw him a lob. I don't know. It might not be the same. I don't know if he wants to jump like that, so he can throw me some lobs. Definitely gonna be passing it to him a lot.
Good. Think over the backboard. Good. Good. Come on. Good. Come on. There you go. Now we got action. Come on.
Udoka and his staff have the pieces. Now they need chemistry, buy-in, precision.
You better hold that shit. Amen Thompson is one of the best defensive players in the league, just spectacular in transition. But this team had a massive, massive glaring hole in terms of the go-to guy. You bring in Kevin Durant, who can get 27 points per game in his sleep, 30,000 plus points, still playing at an elite level. And I do expect that the Houston Rockets are going to be playing into May, potentially even deep May.
The Rockets have their army. Vegas gave them a taste. But the long wait for battle continues until October.